What has made America the finest place in the world to live? Huh. Who needs a ministry of propaganda when you have a private Christian college to do the work for you? Harding College alumni include Duck Dynasty's Willie Robertson and Ken Starr. Anyway, enjoy the movie. Because your pogo stick is broken? John Sutherland, when you want your crappy movie to have really good animation. America is made entirely out of matchsticks.
Wages and prices often play leapfrog. One jumps up, then the other, which means a steady rise in our cost of living.
Additional money, additional problems. Ah, yes, nothing embodies America's greatness and exceptionalism like our doll industry. We don't have to watch these guys play leapfrog, do we?
The Dilly Doll Factory is a happy shop. But Joe, our doll painter friend, seems to be a little down in the mouth, which even shows in his work.
Just sell it at Hot Topic.
Joe is pretty discouraged because the high cost of living makes it harder and harder to make ends meet.
He had to sell his skeleton.
Hiya, Joe, old boy.
Hello.
Better look in that envelope.
It's anthrax.
Wow, a raise!
35 cents!
And just in time to buy the kid a birthday present.
Only a month late.
What'll I get? Let's see. A dress?
Glue trap?
Bicycle?
Rat poison?
Roller skates?
Shoehorn?
Shoes?
Lint roller?
A book?
Suture?
A doll? A doll!
No, that's Kim Cattrall. Wait, can't he just grab a couple out of the irregular pile at work?
What's the price, miss?
I beg your pardon? Whoa, that's a lot of money back
I
now.
work in a factory that makes this doll. $2 is too much.
They're crap.
I'm very sorry, sir, but your company charged us more for this shipment, so we had to raise our selling price.
Mrs.
Got a
McGillicuddy.
wage increase, all right, but it couldn't raise the price that much. It just takes a little wood, rubber, paint, cloth.
I don't
and a
think this
phony
is
wig
about
to
the
make
doll.
that doll. There's only about 10 cents worth of materials in the whole thing. You pirates, crooks,
Yes.
bandits, you robbers.
I'll just get her a damn Furby.
You're right about the cost of raw materials in that doll, about 10 cents worth. Raw materials in practically everything we buy are worth little until labor transforms them into finished product.
Like guns.
For example, how much do you think the raw materials cost in that car?
$1 million?
Oh, about $300.
You've got a surprise coming.
That car is my mother.
It takes 4.5 tons of coal, 2 3/4 tons of iron ore, 50 pounds of cotton, 14 pounds of cured and finished wool,
A couple of tires
aluminum,
and crap.
zinc, lead, copper, and countless other raw materials to make an automobile.
Don't forget the Farfignugan
Without the addition of labor costs, these things are worth about $22.
with $1,500 down.
The raw materials require the accumulated labor of thousands of people in countless crafts
I'm tripping,
to
man.
transform them into a finished automobile. Miners dig the coal and iron ore.
Or what?
Railroad and maritime workers transport these materials to the steel mill, where workers convert the ore into finished steel.
It takes 5
The
seconds.
wages of railroad workers add to the value of steel when it is transported to automobile factories.
At least that's what they tell themselves.
Cotton that goes into a car accumulates labor cost from the farmer who tills the soil,
His name is Roger.
from workers who sow the seed,
Da, 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 da,
and
da,
help to
da.
raise the cotton.
Hey, remember Loco Roco?
Wages paid to other workers add to the value of the cotton as it is moved from the field to the cotton gin where it is processed.
And more brown poison is belched into the sky.
Other workers transport the cotton to the automobile factory.
Meanwhile,
the wool
sheep.
that is used to make a car is worth little while it is still on the sheep. When the labor cost of a sheep shearer is added,
And Harry Shearer is consulted.
the value
Get
of
it.
the wool is increased by his wages.
I'm just happy to be useful.
When all of the parts and materials finally reach the factory for assembly, the labor cost of automobile workers must be added to the price of the car.
Sometimes more than once. The car is coated in orange juice for no reason. Today this is all done by robots and children.
In the $1,500 automobile, direct and indirect labor costs add up to approximately $1,200, or over 80% of the selling price.
That's Pac-Man percent.
Before taxes. And what happens to the other 20%, or $300?
Grift?
Raw material cost, $22. Profit to producers of raw materials and allied industries, $89. Profit to part manufacturers, $47.
Sure, you gotta figure that in.
Profit to local dealer, $77.
That's how they get you.
Profit to car manufacturer, $65.
Oh, and you gotta get that
when
true coat.
you add $400 for taxes, the cost is $1,900 to the buyer.
With $5,000 down. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Like the dolls you make, an automobile has a low raw material cost and a high labor cost, and that goes for practically everything we buy.
Oh, yeah?
What about gum?
Well, what's the labor cost in a buck's worth of steak?
We'll start back at the farm where Bully Boy was raised.
Ferdinand.
The selling price of meat has to include the labor cost in producing the feed, in building fences,
Paying animators.
and constructing housing for our animal friend.
Oh,
It takes a lot of costly care to get Bully Boy ready for the market.
boo.
Wages have to be paid to railroad workers who provide our friend with care and courtesy on his way to the stockyard.
This is sick.
Preparing Bully Boy's anatomy for the butcher shop costs money, too.
Kinda pointless, really. I don't know why we do that.
The family butcher figures in his wages every time he sells a thick, juicy steak. Forgetting
Wah,
taxes
wah.
for a moment, the labor cost in a dollar's worth of meat adds up like this.
It
Workers
doesn't.
raising beef, 24 cents.
I'll take it.
Transportation workers, 1/2 cent.
Ah, chumps.
Packing house workers, 42 cents.
Oh, now we're
Meat
talking.
delivery drivers, 1/2 cent.
Ah,
Butcher
boo.
shop workers, 18 cents.
Sold American.
The other 15 cents goes in profits to the retailers, the packers, allied industries, and to the farmers and
A
ranchers.
group of anonymous Latin American meatpacking
Most of the things
glitterati.
we buy accumulate direct and indirect labor costs that add up to 85% of the selling price before taxes are added. Generally speaking, a wage raise means a corresponding rise in prices.
That's bad.
Unless productivity is increased proportionately.
That's good.
What do you want, a guy with 4 arms?
Vishnu already has a job.
4 arms?
I'm gonna go roll around in toxic waste. I want paid maternity leave.
Say, I got a sensational idea.
Shake weight.
To expand productivity, labor and management must work together to develop new ideas and techniques.
New hand motions. We just invented overtime. Opening a joint account? This is all moving so fast.
To expand productivity, capital must finance the creation of more efficient tools and plants.
They also have to buy stuff. Yay, now we can pump out more dolls with less attention to detail and quality. Yay!
The production of more and better goods at lower costs means that when you get a wage raise, it's a real raise.
Not just pogs.
A raise. A raise!
Smokes and lottery tickets, here I come! Not you again.
I want to buy a doll. How much?
That's still too much.
Now
What the
you've got a
hell?
real wage raise because you can buy more with what you earn.
Still not enough? Max out some credit cards. It's America.
With increased productivity, wages can keep ahead of prices.
And everyone can keep buying more stuff forever until we're all dead and there's no more Earth. Good night. Goodbye.
You robbers!